Today, I'm taking you on a map tour of all of Clark County, Washington. Hey, welcome back to the Living in Vancouver and Camas, Washington YouTube channel. I'm your host, Hannah Dubyne, and I'm glad you're here today because we are doing a map tour of Clark County on my computer. I'm standing at my computer right now. You guys are kind of to the side, so you're gonna get to see the right side of my face. Sorry, there's not really a better spot to put it. But I'm excited for today because I am gonna pop around on the map, and this is kind of just gonna be a casual overview of, you know, different cities, housing types, restaurants, things to do. I'm just gonna share my thoughts with you from my time living in this area and serving clients buying and selling homes for many years now. So let's go over to my computer. All right, so here we are on Google Maps. We're gonna pop around here today. Just to start, I've got Clark County boundaries pulled up. You can see it's a pretty big area. There's about 500,000 people that live in Clark County, Washington, and there's a whole bunch of cities here as well. So I'm mostly gonna focus probably in the Vancouver area today, but we'll talk about a lot of the different cities. Let's start with Vancouver, good old Vancouver. I'll show you the city limits. So this red boundary is the city limits of Vancouver, but Vancouver actually goes beyond that. I'm gonna bring up my paint tool here. You guys get to see my paint in pink today. So Vancouver pretty much goes till about here, and then it also includes the city limits. Living inside or outside of city limits isn't too big of a deal here. Yes, there are some rules that differ in some different utility providers, but that's pretty much it. Remember, if you live in Vancouver, you don't really say you live in Vancouver to people. You tell them what part of town you live in. You live in Felida, you live in 𝐂𝐍𝐍𝐼𝐸, you live in the Heights, you live in East Vancouver, that kind of thing. So speaking of those areas, let's go check it out a little bit. One of my favorite areas of town that of course I have to start with is East Vancouver. This is all kind of known as East Vancouver here, everything from 205 to 192nd and anything south of the 500. One of the best things about East Vancouver is its shopping and stores and all of those things. Right here we have Mill Plain Boulevard, and then we have 164th Avenue. On both of those streets, you have pretty much everything you could need, and so it's very, whoa, I'm still painting, sorry. It's very convenient. So some of the things I love in this part of town, Trader Joe's, that's one I get questions about a lot. We got Trader Joe's in East Vancouver, it's awesome. Kenji's Ramen is a great place for ramen. Chuck's Produce is one of my favorite grocery stores for more specialty items. They also have a great bakery. Margarita Factory, you know, Google Maps, they track where you go, so they've pulled up all of my favorites on here. And let's see, what else is really, really great here. We've got Target here, we've got the old spaghetti factory, there's a wine place. New Seasons is a great substitute for Whole Foods. I get that question a lot, is there a Whole Foods in Vancouver? No, but we got New Seasons and it's pretty much the same. Pho Vivon, that's my favorite pho spot. It's super good. Pizza La Sorrentina, great pizza there. Fred Meyer's, that's where I do my grocery shopping, so that's lovely. As for the homes in the area, Cascade Park is right here. If you hear people talk about Cascade Park, this is it. It's comprised of maybe 10 or 12 subdivisions or specific neighborhoods. The nicer, bigger homes are down here, and the smaller, more entry-level homes are up here. Mostly up here 90s, some 80s, and then down here 70s, 80s, some 90s as well. So that is that. And then we have the coveted Fisher's Landing. People talk about Fisher's Landing all the time. It's a nice place to live. It's competitive right now in the market. So if you have a home to list there, call me because I got buyers for it. And it's super cute. You can see that there's these little circles in the middle, so it's kind of this cute little front porch type vibe, and they have parks inside of them. You can see that park right here. This is the Vancouver Innovation Center, which is going to be a very interesting development over the coming decades. It's going to comprise everything from housing to offices to local stores, and it's supposed to be walkable, so I'm excited for that. And then, oh, you can see me on the map right there. That's me. That's my office on 192nd Avenue. So I love rolling in this part of town. This side is Camas. This side is Vancouver. So that's where the border is. What else do we have here? Down here we have Columbia Palisades development, which is again gonna be kind of everything. So I'm really excited to see what this becomes. It's been going on for many years now, and it'll be many more years, but there's gonna be mid-rise condos, there's gonna be luxury single-family homes, townhouses, office buildings, restaurant shops, and it's supposed to be like smart integrated. So I'm really excited to see what the developers do there. As you go up 192nd Avenue, we've got Costco. You can literally live in Camas and be 10 minutes, 5-minute drive from Costco. In a town of 25,000, how can you be that close to a Costco? It's amazing. Harmony Sports Complex, great place to take your kids when they're playing sports. Pacific Community Park has a dog park, which is super fun. I've thrown barbecues there before. All my people know that. And then if we come over here, let's bring up the Camas border. So here's Camas city limits. Camas does extend beyond this way as well. If you hear someone talk about Fern Prairie is part of Camas, and it is the more rural part. So they probably live on acreage. But Camas is absolutely wonderful. It's where I live, it's where my office is, and I love doing business in this part of town. We have the beautiful 𝐿𝐴𝐶𝐻 Lake, obviously. You can walk around that, and great place to take the family. It's one of the biggest appeals to live in Camas. We also have Round Lake and Fallen Leaf Lake, so we don't have just one lake, we have 3. And then we have the lovely 𝐿𝐴𝐶𝐻 Park, which is right here. That is a large park. I want to say over 100 acres. Yep, there it is right there. And you've got waterfalls, lily fields, mountain bike trails back there. So you kind of have a bit of everything. You can be back there all day if you wanted to. This part of town is Prune Hill. Lots of nice large homes in this area. They're expensive. Think $700,000 to $1.5 million, and really nice though. Really, really nice. Good views too if you're in the right spot on the hill. Lots of nice homes over here as well in this part of Camas. And then if we come to the downtown, we got downtown Camas. Let's check it out. In Camas, the closest grocery store is Safeway, so that's a good spot to go grocery shopping. Crown Park is the old park in the city that is really easy to walk to if you live in downtown Vancouver. This is kind of downtown Vancouver. This is where all the old homes are. Think early 1900s. It's where the paper mill workers used to work, which, by the way, if you're not familiar, this used to be well, it still is. It's the paper mill. It's kind of out of commission now. There's only 150-ish employees. There used to be a couple thousand, and it doesn't smell bad anymore, so don't worry about that. Let's zoom in downtown a little bit more. There we go. 4th Avenue is kind of the main street in Camas. It's got trees and they're lined with lights and it's very pretty. Some of the great spots down here, oh, they're not all popping up. Let me zoom in a little bit more. Oh, there's still not a lot popping up. Oh well, we will give it a shot. Grains of Wrath is right here. Great spots for burgers and brew. Feast at 316, great steakhouse. Hidden River Roasters is my favorite coffee shop. It's in an old house. By the way, if you haven't watched our video about my favorite coffee places, go check that out. We'll have the link down below. Cafe Piccolo, another great coffee shop. Natalia's Cafe, breakfast spot. They also do ice cream there. Yeah, a lot of fun stuff down here. We got the library right there. People really like the Camas library. There's Safeway. Whole bunch of other small businesses that aren't popping up here. And if you're coming to town and you want an experience, staying at the Camas Hotel is super nice and fun, though it is old and small, so just keep that in mind. That's Camas for ya. Let's check out Washougal now. So here's Washougal. Now this is just the city limits, but let me show you all of Washougal. 98671. Wow, that's big. I forget how many acres that actually is, but it is really, really big. Out here, you know, you have acreage property, people living on an acre, 5 acres, 10 acres, 50 acres, 100 acres. And some people have really fancy houses, some people have smaller houses or old farmhouses. So it's a fun mix. We also have the motocross park out here, which actually draws people nationally. It's pretty like well known in that community, so it's cool that we've got that. But I spend most of my time in Washougal, more in the city limits, because that's where there's more homes. So down here we have Camas. 3rd Ave connects to E Street here to get to downtown Washougal. So you come from Camas and then you go into Washougal. And we have Don Pedro, which is a great quick stop taco spot. My dentist is down here, Discovery Dental. If you need a good dentist, I highly recommend them. We've got some nice parks in this area as well. We've got Hathaway Park, we've got the Sandy swimming hole. This is part of Lookout Ridge, but that's a nice park as well. And we've got some over here and here. And if you live in Washougal, the closest grocery store is going to be Safeway as well. It's right there. So that is super easy to access. And then you got the 14 just right there. Another thing about Washougal is that most of it is in Skamania County. Skamania County is going east, and then Clark County is, you know, this area over here. I mostly serve Clark County, but yeah, this part over here is like Skamania County, and then this part is Clark County, so just know that. Let's go talk about the middle of Vancouver. Actually, let's talk about the riverfront. That's a fun area to talk about. Evergreen Highway, if you hear anyone talk about Evergreen Highway or Old Evergreen Highway, they're talking about this area down here. A lot of nice homes down here. Some of them have river frontage. Some of them even have docks, which is extremely rare. And you know, those homes are expensive. So think like $900,000 plus, all the way up to the highest we've ever seen. Right now, there's a home listed for $17 million. It's super cool. But yeah, nice area to be at. You just have to keep in mind, if you're between these two, if you're between Evergreen Highway and 14, you're gonna get a lot more freeway noise from the 14, and your property is not gonna be worth as much. But if you're between Evergreen Highway and the river, your property is gonna be worth more. That land is worth more. Let's clear that out. Let's talk about the Heights. You know, these are some really nice neighborhoods here that are older, been really well taken care of, lots of pride of ownership, beautiful big parks, large lot sizes, think like 1/4 to 0.4 of an acre, and that's way more than you're gonna get these days. So if you are looking for an older, well taken care of home, this is a great area to find that. And of course, there's a Safeway there as well. You can walk to the Safeway. This area in the middle of Vancouver is like kind of random. There's a little bit of everything. Probably not my favorite part of town. I don't usually sell a lot of homes in here. But there is good stuff that comes up, so it's not like you need to completely exit out. Let's keep moving westward. Let's go to downtown Vancouver. Generally speaking, this whole area is considered downtown Vancouver, but the true downtown, where you do business and there's office buildings and lots of shops, is right here. Boom, there we go. Downtown Vancouver. And yeah, there's a lot down here. Woody's Tacos does a great fish taco. Thai Orchid, great Thai food. Amaro's Table has great local drinks, mixed drinks, and just kind of Pacific Northwest inspired food. Little Conejo is a great taco spot down here. We've got my favorite barbecue spot, Smoke and Oak. We've got Esther Short Park that's dedicated to Esther Short, who was one of the early settlers here, a great pioneer woman. And so she gets a whole block, and her old house is actually right there if you want to go check that out if you like historic stuff. And then down here on the brand new waterfront development, that's where that is located, if you hear me talk about that. Lots of great stuff going on down here, still under development, so it's nowhere near done. We have Grassa, a great homemade pasta place. I love that spot. We've got lots of wine tasting rooms. There's Mary Hill. There's more here. They're not popping up for some reason. I think that's one. And Cafe X, one of my favorite coffee shops. It's got a waterfront view too, which is just gorgeous. They make a mean Mexican mocha. We also have, let me zoom in so it comes up. Okay, down here, the AC Hotel is a really pretty nice hotel. So if you want something higher end on the waterfront, that's a good spot to stay. But yeah, this is a great spot to come for date night. You can walk along the trail here. There's the pier. Pretty park-like scenery, so highly recommend that. And if you're looking for something to buy down there in terms of housing, there's just one condo complex that's selling right now, Kirkland Tower, so reach out to me for more information on that. Uptown is right up here. We have so many fun little neighborhoods up here. This is a great spot to live, and really one of the only spots to live if you want to walk to the things that you want to do for social life. So this whole area right in here is Uptown Village. We've got Relevant Coffee, great coffee spot, ice cream shop, La Bottega Cafe and deli shop, which you can do Italian food to go, deli type place. It's great. Uptown Barrel Room, I think that's it right there. Great spot for Pacific Northwest foods, steaks, that kind of thing. We've got a bakery. Richmond Hub is right there, Richland Hub. Great coffee spot as well. So if you want to walk and you want to live somewhere that's walkable, this is the spot for you. Lots of cute little old houses here. They're from the 1900s and they've got alleys and they don't all have garages, so they've got their quirks, but it's a fun spot to live for sure. Let's go up north a little bit more. The Triangle, I've talked about the Triangle a lot on the channel, is a pretty mixed bag area, and I don't mean that with a bad connotation. It just has a little bit of everything in it, and it's been sold off over time because a lot of it used to be farmland. There are some nice parks there. That's a big park, that's a big park, park. We have also the Heritage Farm for 78th Street, which is, should be right here. Where is it? There it is. So that is a really cool thing that has been preserved over time. It's like a public farm that you can come volunteer at, and I'm not exactly sure what they grow there, but I think they do a little bit of everything. So yeah, we kind of got everything here. We do have our other Costco in town right there, so it's pretty central in Vancouver. We have also got Home Depot, and Patton Parkway is gonna take you across this way. It's like an expressway, which means that it's like almost a freeway, but not quite. There's a couple stoplights in it. Let's go up to the northwest corner and the most west side. We got Vancouver Lake right here, which is a wonderful lake to look at. Probably not a great lake to swim in because it has algae blooms from time to time, but it is very nice, and a lot of the land around it, almost all of the land, is preserved by counties, cities, state, Parks Department, whoever, so there are some trails that you can walk around here. Frenchman's Bar is a great place to go if you want sand between your toes, and you can sit out by the river, so that's a fun spot as well. Let's go up to Felida. I love Felida. Who doesn't love Felida? This is kind of Felida right here. It's the most northwest corner. It's an expensive part of town. Median sales price is quite a bit higher than that of Vancouver, usually between 30 to 50% more than Vancouver as a whole, even though it is a part of Vancouver. I love helping people buy and sell homes up here. The main road is Lakeshore Avenue, so that's going to take you through the whole thing. What I like to point out to people here is Erickson Farms. Erickson Farms is actually a neighborhood that was named after Erickson Farms, the people that owned the farmland before. So like this is the neighborhood here, but then this little shopping spot is the Erickson Farm shopping spot. It's got a coffee place, it's got a cycling place, it's got a Mexican restaurant, an Asian bistro, it's got a couple boutiques. So it's a really unique spot where you can live in a high-end suburban neighborhood, away from the city, away from the hustle and bustle, but you can also walk to a couple things. So anything in this neighborhood goes really fast. Felida has newer homes and older homes. It's become a hot spot over the last couple years. I would say there's more older homes here and there's more newer homes here on this side as land has been sold off. And all great things, really, all great things. Let's come up north a little bit more. We've got Salmon Creek Greenway, which is right here. And Salmon Creek, the area, is like this area, and that is obviously named after the Salmon Creek. You can walk along the trail here. It's kind of like this interesting marshy area. We also have Chuck's Produce up here. I already told you guys that's one of my favorite grocery stores. They've got a location up north, so that's convenient. One of the questions I get a lot is about hospitals. So one of our two big hospitals in Vancouver is up here. It's Legacy Salmon Creek Hospital. right there. And then we also have Peace Health, which is down south, more closer to the 14. If you live in Salmon Creek, Fred Meyer's is a great grocery shopping option. There's also Safeway. There's some local restaurant type stuff here. More strip mall-y vibes. It's not like a cute little downtown type thing, but there's a lot up here. Planet Thai has good Thai food. They're right there. Yeah, a lot up here. It's a good spot. Good spot for sure. Mount Vista is right here. And you'll notice Washington State University Vancouver campus is here as well. I'm a Cougar. I went to Washington State University Pullman in Eastern Washington, but they've got a campus here. It acts as more of a community college, though they do have four-year programs. Sometimes I get questions from people, you know, if they're looking at a house that's close to that area, is it run down because it's by a college and it's by college students? No, actually, it's a really nice area. I would say it's one of the more high-end areas of town. It's got some beautiful older homes and also some newer ones sprinkled in, and it's pretty expensive to live there. So I would not be too worried about that unless you're really close to maybe an apartment complex. Since it's more of a community college vibe, people are usually living with parents, or they can live anywhere in the city because it's only going to take them 10 or 15 minutes to get to the campus. So that's a little bit about Wazoo. Also, really good hiking trails if you are interested in living kind of closer to nature. It's a good spot. Plus, you can just you're on the border, so you can just pop out here like really quickly. It's easy, it's good, love it. Let's talk about more stuff on the east side. Brush Prairie is more acreage, so you're gonna find bigger homes on, you know, an acre plus here generally, though there are some actual subdivisions here. Hawkinson is actually the east part of Brush Prairie. It's not its own city, it's its own area, but it has its own school district. It's kind of confusing. The school district's small. It's got one high school, one middle school, one elementary school, and it's really well loved. Up here we have Battleground. This is just Battleground city limits, which Battleground has really grown a lot over the last 20 years. There's new development happening there, and everything you need is in Battleground. You know, we've got grocery stores, Fred Meyer, there's Safeway, we got Walmart, we got coffee shops, we got local shopping. They do a fun community festival in the summertime, so it is kind of more that small town vibe. It's more blue collar for sure, because Battleground does go way out here. Like that is all Battleground and probably beyond that. It's like all Battleground, acreage properties all out here. You get kind of a little bit of everything. Up here in the good old corner, we got Amboy and Yakult, which I pretty much never get out to because there's not a lot of homes to sell out there. These are small towns, so if you want small town living, this is a great spot for you. There are, you know, city homes that are on smaller pieces of land, but a lot of kind of acreage properties out here. Then up here we got Lake Merwin. I love Lake Merwin. I go out there sometimes with the family and, you know, take the boat. There's camping sites, there's walking trails, fun to go out there and walk the dog, but it is really pretty in the summertime. Pop back over to the I-5 corridor here. We have not talked yet about Woodland. Woodland is the top of Clark County, so part of Woodland is in Clark County, part of Woodland is in Cowlitz County, which is north of Clark County. If you live in Woodland, I-5 runs right through it, and your main shopping is gonna be Walmart and Safeway, and there's a couple other small things as well. But you might need to drive to Vancouver or up north to Longview to get some of your essentials. And Woodland is kind of resistant to development, so there's not a lot of new construction happening out there, and it is more of a small town vibe. Also, you have the Lewis River, which runs through it, so that's kind of pretty. If you want more affordable water view, waterfront property, this is a better spot to look than, say, the Columbia River. La Center is right here. La Center's a small town again, just a couple thousand people. I want to say about 2,500 to 3,500. So everyone knows everyone, just keep that in mind. And you're gonna need to get your essentials probably in Ridgefield. It's not far at all from Ridgefield though, so not too much of a drive. Ridgefield is a place I find myself often these days. It is very up and coming. The east side of Ridgefield is really developed a lot over the last 10 years. It's got a lot of new home communities that are closer together, but they've got those new amenities. And it's got Rosar Supermarket, so it's fully self-sustaining. That's our grocery store. right here, there are a whole bunch of stores and shops and local stuff and Starbucks and Mod Pizza and physical therapy and local restaurants, all the things. So that's wonderful. We're also gonna have Costco going in here. By the way, if you haven't watched our Ridgefield development video, we're gonna have that linked below. So definitely check that out because there's a lot of good things coming up in Ridgefield. Ridgefield's doing a new waterfront as well. That's gonna be happening right here. So I'm excited for that. That's been in the works for 10 years. And this is the downtown Ridgefield area, which is cute and older. Like it's like 100 years old, so it's been there a long time. There's like a little food cart place and some coffee shops, some restaurants, the police department, the school district office. And then of course we've got the wildlife refuge, which is really big. And you could be in there all day if you wanted to in Ridgefield. I hope that was helpful to you guys and gave you some good perspective on what it's like living here, you know, fun things to do, restaurants, local shops, etc. If you're thinking about moving to Vancouver, Camas, or Clark County, myself and my team at Dubyne Realty Group would really love to help you. We love helping people if they're moving in 9 days, 90 days, or even 9 years from now. Let us help you. Reach out to us, email us, text us, DM us on Instagram, and we look forward to seeing you next week. Thanks for watching.